Hello everyone! So welcome back to this channel. As most of you may know, or if you're new to this channel, typically the videos on here are more of travel vlogs with myself and my boyfriend Juo, but I decided that I'm going to do a little maybe 2 or 3 part series about the EPIK program, which is the English program in Korea. And in the series I just want to give you guys some interview tips, maybe a timeline process, and then I'll be doing a room tour once I get my room. So as you can see by the title of this video, this is going to be the first one about the interview process and just a few quick tips about how to pass or feel more comfortable during your own interview. The interview itself is actually nothing to be really worried about or to be nervous about. It went really quickly. Mine only lasted about 28 minutes, though I hear they can last anywhere from as little as 15 to as much as about 35 or 40 minutes, just depending on your specific situation, which interviewer you have, and what questions they have for you. I will also tell you that they ask anywhere from as little as 3 questions to as much as I've heard 15 questions. So it's completely up to the interviewer and your circumstances and what they need to know about you. In my specific case, they asked me 7 questions, which I will write out in the description box below. I just don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'd rather give you the tips about how to pass the interview because I'm sure that is what you are most curious about. So with that being said, let's get started. My first quick little tip to you guys, that's kind of like a little extra thing before you get started in the process. If you are wholeheartedly serious about wanting to be in the EPIK program and wanting to be an English teacher in Korea specifically, maybe you have a certain city in mind, it is best to put everything that you have towards this journey. As for myself, I specifically knew that I wanted to be in the EPIK program. I didn't want to consider Hagwons, which are the private schools in Korea. I didn't want to kind of find like third-party vendors. Just for myself, I felt it was going to be more secure to go with a very well-known government-aided run kind of program. And ever since I've known about teaching abroad, I've only ever heard good things about the EPIK program, so I knew that was the program for me. So with that being said, my first little side recommendation is that you all invest in one of these. It is a 5-pocketed accordion folder. You can easily buy these off of Amazon. You might be able to get them at your local store like a Walmart if you're here from the States. It'll definitely just help you in the long run of keeping yourself organized with all the papers that they require. But they do require a lot of information, a lot of paperwork, and overall having one of these folder organizers will definitely save your sanity because it gets a little crazy. So just invest in one of these. I bought this one off of Amazon for about like $7 US, and I went and just obviously decorated it in the front. Like I said, I was wholeheartedly on the EPIK program, so everything I did I gave my 100% attention to. Alright, so my tip number 1, do your research beforehand. It is so important to do your research about the program and know what you're getting yourself into before you even go through with the interview process. It might sound silly, but I know plenty of prospective teachers who were asked, what does EPIK mean? And they couldn't answer the question and therefore were not hired. So make sure if you do any research, you at least know what EPIK stands for, English Program in Korea. Simple enough. The other part of the research process is going through and Googling what questions can I expect during an EPIK interview. You will find tons of blogs, and I'm sure other vlogs on YouTube, where people talk about their experiences and they list out the questions that they were asked. For me personally, I found it helpful to open up multiple different tabs and compare all the questions that people were asked and then pull together the most popular questions. So what I did is come up with a sheet like this, and all I did was in the blue here, I wrote the question that I saw most often, and then I wrote out my answer, and then in the yellow I highlighted the most important parts that I thought for that answer specifically. And with the paper, all I would do is I would read my question, I would read the answer that I typed out, and then just reread the highlighted yellow parts. So let me give you an example. One of the most common questions that an EPIK interviewer will ask you is, why Korea? So for my case, I had already studied abroad in Korea before, so I knew my answer was going to be something related to giving back to a community. So I wrote out my long answer, and then I would go back and highlight the key words that I needed to remember while answering this question, such as community, past teachers, learned Korean before, personal experience, and things like that. And that was super helpful for me because all I had to do was think about those key words for that specific question, and I was able to elaborate for my interviewer and give them a full response. The answers will come naturally to you, so really don't stress about it at all, guys. Alright, moving right along to tip number 2. My tip to you is don't stress or freak out over technical issues. I feel like this is not talked about enough, but you're more than likely going to run into some type of technical issue during your EPIK interview. I know it sucks and it would probably completely stress you out, but don't worry about it. EPIK is there for you. They understand that happens, so don't freak out over it. Plenty of people that I know from this fall 2018 intake have had some sort of technical issue, including myself. It seemed that the most common issue this time around was that we were unable to see our interviewer. And if you think about it, that's kind of an awkward situation to be in. It is a technical issue, and unfortunately, it's gonna make it awkward. But not being able to actually see my interviewer did kind of make it feel a little impersonal and a little awkward, but all I can say is you have to do it and you don't really have a choice. My interviewer did tell me that there was not going to be a webcam on his side just because it slowed things down on their end, and I just had to deal with it. But then it actually turned out to ease my nerves a bit, as I couldn't see their face and I couldn't tell if they were judging me, so I guess it worked out in the end anyways. But the tip I have for that is to just make sure you are focusing on your webcam. Even if you can't see them, just pretend that they're there, because you don't want to be looking off in La La Land talking to this person when you're supposed to be having a professional interview. You can't see them, but they can see you, and make sure you are not doing anything crazy or having your cheat sheet up when they're answering your questions. So just make sure if that happens to you and you are unable to see your EPIK interviewer, that you are focusing on the webcam or whatever device you are using to have this chat with, and not looking like a crazy person all over the place. One other thing I want to say about technical issues is that EPIK is very understanding. If there is a technical issue, they'll know about it, and you'll let them know about it if it's on your end, and they'll be more than happy to accommodate you, whether that be at a little bit of a later time or rescheduling your day. Even though that might throw you off a bit, it still gives you a fair chance at getting your interview done and getting it done right. Do your best to avoid those technical issues beforehand, but if they do come up, don't freak out and don't stress, and don't email your EPIK interviewer 100 million times. Just let them know what happened honestly, and they'll be more than happy to work with you and reschedule you and get you that interview that everyone deserves and everyone has the fair chance at. My third and final tip for you guys is to just let your personality shine through. They don't want to see a bump on a log, reading scripted answers. That, yes, I know I told you in tip 1 to basically write a script, but it needs to sound natural. Prepare with a friend instead, or prepare with a parent, a sister, a brother. Prepare with somebody that will give you the ability to work on speaking naturally and sounding unscripted. The most important aspect of them having this one-on-one interview with you through a webcam is so that they can see that you are an upbeat person. You're gonna have fun with your children. You're willing to learn. You're willing to teach. And you're willing to just be yourself and show these kids your culture and show them the language, and be able to fulfill your duties of a teacher, and that duty is to instruct the children about the English language. I'm not saying that you need to be fake and super bubbly and outgoing and fun, but you do need to make sure that you are smiling, you're making eye contact, you're looking like you want to be there, and you're looking as if you'll do a good job and you'll be able to instruct their children successfully. And I guess something that can go with this about being yourself and being personable via camera is to make sure you're wearing something comfortable, something that says you. To be honest, I wore this shirt during my interview. I did have a cardigan on top though, however, so I was not wearing bare-shouldered because I don't think that is very professional. And especially taking into consideration Korea is more of a conservative country, so I made sure to dress appropriately, but something that I was comfortable in wearing. You don't want to wear something super itchy or something new that you don't know how is going to affect your body. You don't want to be itching and adjusting and moving all about while you're doing your interviews, so make sure it's something comfortable that looks good and is presentable. So they're just looking for someone who is confident and capable of doing the job that they're looking for, and they just want to see that through your personality. So make sure you win them over with a smile, and to the best of your abilities, just answer the questions that they give to you. And when I ended the interview, I made sure to thank them for giving me their time, and that I looked forward to hearing from them very soon. So it just made it seem like I wasn't saying, okay, thank you very much, bye, but it made it seem like I was wanting to hear from them, and I was hoping to continue the conversation that we were having, and therefore I thought it made it seem more personable and more professional as a whole. And I just want to wish you guys good luck in your EPIK interview process. do not freak out, don't stress out, and don't worry about it. You're going to do great. And if you have any other questions, you can leave those questions in the comment section below, or you can DM me on Instagram and I will answer your questions there. So I will see you next time in our next video. Bye guys.